Hi guys, we're back with the second part of our Q&A after
summer vacations.
How's your summer holiday, Doug?
It's very good, thank you very much. How was yours?
It was excellent. How was yours, Martin?
It was great. How was yours?
It was good, thanks.
You also have to ask me now.
How was your summer vacation there?
Shit, it was absolutely horrible. Alright, let's get started with some of the questions that you guys have asked us. We also have a recording device in front of us, in case that shows up on the screen. It's to give you guys even better sound than usual.
Fantastic. This is going really well.
Yeah, this is going very well so far.
Alright, so let's get started with the questions. We received a ton of questions on Facebook, Twitter and in the forums, and we'll try to answer at least some of them. When will we get our download link for TLJ? For those who opted for a digital copy of TLJ in their pledge.
From what I know, it's very soon because we've received all the codes and everything.
All the
keys, sorry. And it's pretty much ready to ship.
So very soon. Within hopefully within the next week. We've had some delays with it, but things are ready to roll now.
Now it's been undelayed.
Now it's been undelayed. Second question. That first question was from Ostor, by the way, on the forums. The second question is from Masked Geek Girl on the forums.
I like it.
Does or did April have a biological father? Martin?
She did. Do you guys want to go into details there?
You mean you haven't really studied those subjects?
I think you've answered the question. Yes.
Yeah, there will probably be more information about that at some later point, I would imagine. It might be important, maybe.
Could be, maybe.
Let's imagine that.
Yeah. Gyra asks, will there be an in-game option while playing as Kian to stroke a cannon? And E-Dreamer Jamil follows up with, and will he be strangely comforted by the experience?
I think that's safe to say that yes, we will have something like that. And he will be comforted, like we all do.
Is there any instance of stroking a cannon that's not comforting?
If there is, I haven't found it yet.
There you go.
We like to follow up on our little in-jokes and do something in-game to, reward those people who follow us closely, I guess, and stroke our cannons.
So creepy. Next!
That's getting cut. Resatamis asks, so he's around.
He's around.
On the forums even. That's amazing. I didn't know he
it's not
was part of our community. That's not him.
That's not him.
What differences in the production compared to working under a large publisher have you and the team noticed or adjusted to so far?
I think it's very different. Like we used to work for Funcom and hundreds of employees in a big company.
And with big publishers like EA and...
Yeah. Now this feels... I talked a bit about this. Like this feels like our second home now, and it's sort of cozier, and we make all the decisions. Like we're sitting in one room, we make all the decisions ourselves.
It's a bigger level of involvement, basically,
yeah.
in every decision, I would say. That's the biggest difference. I mean, I'm still writing story for TLJ, so it's the same matter I'm exploring, but it's more freedom.
And
yeah,
I'm finally hands-on again.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference, having a small team, I guess.
Yeah. And do a little bit of everything as well. Like you're again, level of involvement. You're just involved in all kinds of,
including doing the dishes and
building the furniture
and building IKEA furniture.
Watching other people build the furniture.
Yeah,
hello,
like a boss.
Somebody has to oversee.
Yes. Well done.
The overseer.
Yes.
But who oversees the overseer?
Oh, who watches the
overseer?
Overseer.
What is the best thing about being crowdfunded, and what is the biggest challenge?
Well, the best thing is that it enabled us to make this game, which is great. To sort of this is what we wanted to do, and now we're able to do what we love and make a good game. So that's great. But it is scary though. I mean, lots of people have already bought this game, and we don't want to disappoint them.
I think you feel a higher level of responsibility to deliver. I suppose it's one of the challenges that come up. You always want to deliver well, but now it feels even more important, I suppose. I don't know.
It's on us now, at least, and people have trusted us with their hard-earned money and confidence. So it's up to us to deliver. We can't hide behind. I guess it goes back to the first question. You can't hide sort of behind anything. It's sort of you're exposed. You get to make your choices, but you also have to live with your choices.
You can't blame management and publishers if,
no.
If it goes.
We can only blame Dog.
Because he's the boss.
He's the overseer. Yeah. All right. How far away are we from the longest journey home? Can't you people wait until the Dreamfall Chapters is out before asking questions like that? What do you want from us? We'll make it, right?
We'll make it at some point, I hope. We need to focus on chapters first and foremost. And then if everything goes really well, I hope we can sit down towards the end of next year and look at some.
Start looking at longest journey home.
Yeah,
it's there on all our plans.
Yeah.
Our glorious 1, 2, 3, and 4-year plan.
5-year plans. I didn't yet show you our glorious 25-year plan.
At least they are glorious.
They are glorious.
Okay, that was from Jenny S, by the way. On Twitter, we got some questions. First one is from Veronica Gidzinska. Dreamfall Chapters left us with so many unanswered questions. Dreamfall Chapters, will it leave us with as many unanswered questions as Dreamfall did?
No.
Thank you. Will Dreamfall Chapters be the final chapter of the story? Asks Eugenie.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that before. It's the last chapter of Zoe's story. It's the last chapter of the Dreamer cycle. That doesn't mean that it's the last chapter of the Longest Journey saga.
But that also, I guess, answers the first question. We'll wrap up. So
exactly, and I mean the reason there were some unanswered questions last time around was that it was always meant to be a two-part game.
It was the first half of a two-parter.
So, yeah, a twofer.
No, not a twofer. It was a one-fer.
It was a one.
Moving over to Facebook. Not a lot of questions on Twitter this time around. I don't know.
Maybe.
On Facebook, we got a question from Gustav Philip Jonathan Andreasson. That's an epic name. Is the length of the game a changing variable that can't yet be determined, or do you have a new estimate of how long it'll be? Yes and yes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we have an estimate. We're aiming for sort of a...
We have a ballpark where we want to land
yeah.
In terms of length, but of course it can change a little in either direction depending on what happens as we go.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that a lot of things in the game do actually change as we're developing it. We have an overworking story, we know what we want to say, we know what's going to happen, but within those sort of chapters in the game, things change quite frequently. So it's very hard to sort of pinpoint exactly how long it will be.
I guess we'll know more at the end of this year when we have sort of a fully playable game from beginning to end, but even that is still affected by things like length of dialogues and how quickly or slowly an actor speaks.
Yeah.
I mean, at least half of this game is going to be dialogue sequences, and that's gonna,
that's gonna be a sizable portion, yes.
Yeah, and we
won't
don't
know until
exactly,
we have the audio really.
So I don't think we'll know exactly how long this game is going to be until we are at the end of it. But it's going to be long enough. That's our goal.
If it is the length of this answer.
Kyle asks, will there be some hands-on time in the story time with the Vagabond? I guess you're asking if whether or not you get to play there with, to get,
not play
with the Vagabond.
Not play the Vagabond.
Here, Vagabond, catch!
Vagabond will not be a playable character.
No.
But there will be some time.
It won't just be cinematics, no. It'll be, you'll be able to interact. with thingies. Phil asks, can we buy Mrs. Mullin's mixed spices, or is there still an Azaldi raid going on causing a bad traffic jam?
I think Ari's still stuck.
Stuck in traffic.
Stuck in traffic.
It's the most epic traffic jam ever.
Yeah.
It's lasted over a year.
Yeah.
I think we'll see the return of Mrs. Mullin's mixed spices. I want to taste that. We should put that on a pizza sometime. Lars Christian asks, what takes up the most of the time when developing Dreamfall Chapters? Dreamfall Chapters. Programming, graphics, writing, drinking beer, or something else?
I can speak. I can only speak for myself, but for me, it's writing.
Yeah, exactly. I guess for Martin, it's the implementation and design.
Yeah.
But it's
graphics, really. That's the
Yeah.
biggest area. Yeah, by far.
we're aiming for quite high fidelity on
Yeah.
high quality of the graphics, so that takes a lot of time.
At least half the team are artists.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. So that's always the biggest thing with games. It's obviously code can get big, but
We're not a feature heavy.
No,
game
it's not
in
a feature heavy game.
that
So
way, so.
I guess we already answered the question. Why do we go on with
Yeah, I have
art? Done. Daniel asks, just confirm that there will be no zombies or vampires, please.
confirmed.
Don't play with their emotions.
Don't play with their emotions.
Which character asks the... Dream in Colors asks, which character does each of you relate to most and why?
I would say Kia.
Because he's buff and sexy?
Yeah, it's the muscles. No, of course not. No, I think he's pretty cool. I mean, he.
Because he's a religious fundamentalist.
No, but he goes through life and he.
Because he's in prison?
No, but he goes through life and he believes things, but he is also.
He believes things. Yeah,
but he's also open to like I might not have the whole truth.
He's a guy with principles, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he hasn't, but still, like, even as hard-headed as he, or brainwashed, whatever you want to call it, he still managed to sort of change his mind and his opinions about stuff. And so I don't know, I can relate.
You going with Kian?
I'm going with Kian.
You're going with Kian. Doug? Who are you gonna go with?
I'm gonna go with the Burns Flipper because of his vocabulary.
That's just a silly answer.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
know,
really
but
what you mean.
That's not really what I mean. What do I mean? I don't really know. It's hard to say.
Monkers?
I have I have such a special bond with so many of the characters. It's hard to.
Yeah, it is a hard question to answer. I think it actually depends on when you ask us too, because
because sometimes when you're writing dialogue for one character, you put something that just happened to you into the dialogue, or something you just watched on TV or something, and then that becomes really near, and then as you say, you're writing something else, or you're playing it back.
Or it's
and
the
you're seeing
point,
something else.
the phase in life you're at. Like the characters we wrote for Dreamfall,
So
it's probably related to them in a different way back then than we do now.
Yeah,
So we're not going to answer your
No,
question.
it's too hard
Just
for me
gonna
to answer
answer
that
that.
question.
But for Martin, it's Kian.
There's that.
I apologize, says Jessica, if this has already been asked, but what progress have you made in casting voice actors and actresses from previous games?
Well,
we know who we're gonna get, right?
We know who we want to get. We don't know if we will get them all. Like, we haven't started booking actors and stuff, so it might be down to availabilities. But we know
we'll get most of them. Yeah.
But we've casted pretty much 85% of the characters, I would say.
Yeah.
Cast. Can you say casted?
No, I don't,
I don't think you can.
No.
You have to say cast. We've cast. Yeah.
And we know that most of them are super excited about being back and working on this. So we'll announce more when we have more details. Florian asks, how did you Red Thread gamers meet each other?
We met.
Well, it was in a prison camp, I think, in southern China in the late 1940s. I think I spent 10 years there after the end of the... I don't know.
Well, that was fun and charming.
I'm not remembering. Let's skip that question.
We met at Funcom.
Yeah, let's skip that question.
You're just disappointed in yourself.
Yeah, I know. Wandrew asks... Hello, Wandrew.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is an epic question, and I'm pretty sure Andrew is serious, and it is a serious question. But I have to admit that this took us back a little bit.
Will I understand what he asked after you finished asking the question?
Yeah, sort of. It's definitely a fan heavy question. It's like a lore heavy, but sort of a typical fan question, like deep with lore knowledge. Nah, fuck it, let's skip that one, move on to the next one.
No, now you have to.
On Allies, the telephone statues are of people with ears that stick out horizontally. But we're told Allies was a Dolmari resort island. They don't look like the two Dolmari we see in Longest Journey, Tunlek and Ulen, the map delivery boy. But they do look like Lorehound, the petrified sailor Roper Clax is using as an anchor on his castle. When April frees him, we see a cutscene of a pink creature with white hair all over his body. Is he Dolmari? Or is there some other significance to the statues on Allies? Martin? You recently played Longest Journey and read up on the lore.
Yes.
So this is sort of a test of your observational abilities.
Kudos on the observation there, Andrew. My advice to you is move on. Just move forward. I'm sorry, I have no idea. But it doesn't really matter, I would guess. I'm sorry,
it probably didn't matter back when it was written, but I have to admit that I had absolutely no idea. I know everything we did when we made Longest Journey. We did it with sort of meaning and purpose.
But I imagine, without being part of that...
I think Lorehound was Dolmari though, I'm pretty sure.
And the island was originally a Dolmari resort island, but I seem to remember there was something in between that it had.
Or before that.
So
because I don't think an island starts in the cradle of civilization as a resort island. It wasn't like the Aborigines in Australia began Australia as a resort island, or a continent in that case, but or the Maori in New Zealand. I don't think they came to New Zealand and said, that's a resort island. So I think probably there was something there before the resort island.
Is New Zealand now a resort island, you would say?
No. Far from it. Yeah.
Wow.
Are we offending? Who have we not offended now?
I feel bad now, I'm sorry.
As long as we offend people in equal measure, I suppose.
That's even more offensive to say you're a valuable person. Don't you think he already knows he's a valuable person? Does he need your affirmation?
Now you made it into something really bad.
Also, it sounded really sarcastic.
Teller?
So no, it's great here at Retro Games. I don't miss Funcom at all.
Teller asks, is there going to be more interactivity with the environment in Dreamfall Chapters?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're adding lots of stuff for you to click on and read and get tidbits of information about. Well, we basically roam through all our playfields, or scenes, worlds, and locations,
rooms,
and sort of like
game spaces.
And basically think like what would be interesting here, what would be interesting for our players, and basically throw out lots of different pieces of information.
I asked that question to be a yes or no answer, so you could have just said yes.
Yes.
No, but it's true. Interactivity, definitely. More, tons of it, yeah.
So let me get this straight. There's going to be more?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anna asks, why have you decided to change Zoe so much? Well, I mean, Zoe's been updated to look a lot better.
Upgraded, as you could call it.
Updated? Well, upgraded. Well, I don't know if you can upgrade a person, but updated for modern technology. So yeah, she's bound to look a little bit different than she did in 2006. But we are trying to stay true to how the character looked and how she was supposed to look. It's a work in progress. Still, there will be tweaks throughout production. But we try to find a balance between Zoe as she was in a very old game and Zoe as she should be in a very new game.
Yep.
Tiago asks, when you guys and gals have some divergence about where the game should go, how do you solve it?
Fisticuffs.
Moving on.
That was quick.
Discussions, I guess.
Quite the pugilist.
No, but we have some good design discussions. Usually I start by writing, like I read the story and what's going to happen here. Then
You actually did read the story.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then come up with something, and then we have a meeting with a few people, and we sit and discuss it. Like, will this work? Usually everybody says, that's fantastic work, Martin, well done. But occasionally it's like,
In his
no,
head.
Keon wouldn't do that, or Zoe wouldn't do this. And then we change it. And
then we build it, and then we test it, and then we change it again.
Yeah, something like that.
We rarely have big disagreements on stuff because everybody's responsibilities are very defined. So.
Charming.
Wow, let's cut that one. Layara asks, are the marks on the Asadi's faces and bodies supposed to be tattoos, decorative scars, long-lasting body paint, or are they genetic?
They are not genetic. They are sort of like henna tattoos.
Yeah, it's a different herb.
Yeah, that can change according to their position within the army or within the clergy or whatever.
Status in society, yeah.
Basically.
Fritjof the Shifter, that's his name, asks, will there be a lot of atmospheric effects in the game, as in particle effects and physics, like steam, rain effects, camera shakes, papers flying around, etc., etc.?
There will. Definitely, we already added some in the scene that we saw in
At rest.
at Rest. But definitely, I think we all agree that adds depth to the scene and realism.
We're gonna put in as much as we can to still make the game run well. It's always some balance you have to strike.
It'll be scalable too. It will vary depending on the platform.
Yep.
Ringtail says, talk to me about game spaces. Come on, talk to Ringtail.
Hi, Ringtail. No, game spaces. I mean, we have sort of talked about it, but it's an open space where the game basically opens up, and we tell the player that now you have all the time that you want. You can go roam around, find
Free as a lark.
Yes, that's is that an expression?
Yeah.
Okay. What he said, and you can meet interesting characters, pick up lore, but you will have a couple of tasks that you need to fulfill. You can usually fulfill them in any order that you want, but it's sort of game opens up, explore. You want to reward curiosity, that we've said a couple of times, and there will be a couple of tasks. When you're done with them, progress. I think that can be a cool thing. It's we have a couple already, and it's fun.
Yeah, I think the game spaces are going to be a fantastic way to really open up the game world a bit.
Yeah, for people who want to sort of dive in a bit deeper. So
Eva Unit 02, that sounds like a robot. Are you a robot, Eva Unit 02? Since a lot of you have...
You're looking at me as if I knew the answer.
Yeah.
Yes, I think she is.
You know a lot of robots. Since a lot of you have worked on both single player driven adventure games and MMORPGs, what are the perks and disadvantages to working on in each genre? What lessons from your MMO development days are you bringing to your work on Dreamfall Chapters?
Well, let's say that the biggest difference, at least from the games that I've worked on, is MMOs are huge. They require so many systems.
Would you say that they're massive?
I would say massive.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, but like you need an economy system, you need a crafting system, and you need the combat system and the ability system, and everything needs to be balanced. And players aren't on rails, and they don't always do what you want them to do, which is
goddamn players.
Which makes this game a lot easier to design for.
Working on a lot smaller game obviously has the advantage of its being smaller. Yes, it's easier to have a good overview of the entire game and making sure that everything is nicely tailored together. That's harder, obviously, when you're working on a huge world like the Secret World or Age of Conan, with so many characters and so much real estate. It's
more focus, I guess.
It's easier to give like a very tailored or give the players the experience that we want to give them. It's easier in this game because we have more control over where the player can go.
The challenges are obviously making that exciting and interesting, keep the pace up, and the advantage of an MMO is that you have other players, and there's nothing like other players to add fun to a game, like
exactly.
Or frustration. But yeah, it has its challenges as well, making a single player adventure game without any combat mechanics. I mean, you have to get drama and with fewer tools.
And I think every game you work on, you learn something and you bring that to the next production. Anyway, no matter what kind of genre it is. So of course we're gonna be influenced by what we worked on before.
Avanzato asks, are the choices in this game going to be like The Walking Dead, where basically it says here's your choice with a graph afterwards, or how big an a-hole you were, or something more subtle like Mass Effect that you pick up on if you play through again? Mix, I guess.
None of the above.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Well, this is going to be broadcasted.
Yeah, but not like
When you're
not in the way that Walking Dead does it, but when you make a choice, you'll know that you're making a choice, but you won't necessarily know the consequence of that choice.
We're wary of making them too subtle as well, because I think that's what we sometimes did in the past, where we had different content and people didn't really even know. And it's a lot of work if not that many people are gonna experience it and even know that it's there. It's not necessarily worth it.
We will sort of announce the choice when you have it. You'll know. You'll be able to also see what other people have chosen. We showed this in the rest presentation. You can find that on YouTube.
But I would not consider it an a-hole barometer.
No, not at all. And there are really no right or wrong choices, and the effects of those choices are going to be sometimes not announced in the same way. So the only way to really know the sort of extent of the choice is to play through the game multiple times. Toremygg asks, will you continue to explore cutscenes as a vehicle for emotive content, or does that not fit into with your vision for chapters? Yes and no. We actually had a part of the game that you implemented recently. We had some discussion about that.
Yeah. We felt that it was more fitting and more engaging if stuff just happened in the game without necessarily a cutscene.
So players have to be a little bit more observant and really sort of always sort of announcing, here's the thing you need to look at, cutscene.
So more just the world is alive around you, stuff happens, and either you see it or you don't.
But we're not gonna cut cutscenes altogether.
No. We're gonna use them where they make sense, especially in conversations and in sort of those kinds of situations. When it comes to gameplay situations, I think it's great to not have a cutscene. So rather be let the player observe and interact as things are happening.
Yeah.
Atli Freyr Bjarnason asks, will you be able to fail events that will either lead to a game over or result in a different outcome of the situation? Basically, fail events. Are we going to have that?
Yeah.
Not a game over though.
Not a game over.
And not a death.
That would be boring.
Game over,
Game
restart.
over.
Yeah.
Insert coin.
Yeah, no, you'll be able to have different outcomes to certain situations, depending on what you do. But we are going to try to definitely avoid the sort of you died, game over, try again kind of thing.
Yeah, when we discussed this a few months ago, where we sort of were trying to design around having to have to implement a fail condition, sort of trying to figure out ways where we can feel like this can play out in a natural way.
No matter how you go
and still trying to instill a sense of urgency if we need that in the player, or fear, or like feeling that you can fail but without sort of in a game over kind of way.
Final question from the extremely apt name, I don't know if it's an apt name, that's a great name, Draco Tempest.
I like it.
Or Draco Tempest, whatever. Are you a dragon? Because you sound like one. What would, according to Crow, be the... What? Is that even your real name? Seriously? What would, according to Crow, be the top 5 qualities in a female bird? What? Top qualities female bird, go. Availability.
Child.
I think Crow would answer this.
It's numbers 1 through 5 probably for Crow.
Egg-bearing hips. I don't know. Do birds have hips?
They must.
Egg-bearing, but it has to come out.
The bird lay eggs, right?
Yeah, I know, but it has to come. Like, what do you call the thing that eggs come out of? You don't call it like bird vagina. I'm sorry, but this I need to Google this. So that's 2.
Well, I think Martin already won that round of answers.
I think you won the Q&A.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by, guys.
We'll see you next time. Bye.